flight too. And we went into this serious turbulence. In fact, we had to divert to Ghana. And we're leaving Lagos. And as the plane was going like this and going like that, I turned to the upper of Lagos. I said, Kabiyesi, say keep quiet, Kabiyesi. Plane is not landing, you're doing Kabiyesi. I said, Kabiyesi, Badura. Say, hey, Ali, let's land first. Kabiyesi is on the ground, not in the air. And Kabiyesi is somebody that is my friend. So most of the time when he sees me at events, he keeps asking me, Ali, come and visit me. Ali, come and visit me. But the problem with going to visit a Kabiyesi is that when you go, you give him something. When he comes to your own house, you give him something. And to make it worse, the Oba of Lagos is a retired policeman. So so that one said, you don't even need to see him anywhere he sees you, he will collect. The reason why I was invited by Auntie Radiat and the members of the graduating class is that I've been invited to share a few things that I've shared with a lot of businesses in a long while. And this time I would like you to listen. By the way, before I go on, have you noticed that the rule that says that if you eat a lot of pounded yam, you gain weight, didn't work for the other guy? Some people are lucky. You know, why I say that is that I grew up in a polygamous home. We had several brothers, sisters, cousins that were living with us. And every time they come, I was the lankiest guy. Then we had a cousin, Tobori. Tobori was like the man in white. But every time meat gets missing, somebody's food gets missing, they accuse Tobori. Because to them is the one that eats the most. But you saw the guy that was looking lanky. They served him 3 plates of rice already here. But if he walks in, he's the one that will ask, oh God, do you still want to eat something? But that is on the side. So, I want to tell you about certain tricks that I learned, or certain things that I learned from a simple story in the Bible that some of you may be aware of as a story, but do not know the business implication of that story. So there came a time that all businesses were under fire. And I say, there came a time in Egypt where all the people in Israel who had male children got killed. And that is the business environment at that time. Why? The Egyptians felt like the men, the Israeli men were getting too many. And so the law was promulgated that any man that was born, any male child, should be killed. And so what does that say? It gives you a potential and gives you how to deal with it. And there was a woman who had a son, like a business idea. And she did not want the business idea to die. But she needed to plant it somewhere for it to germinate properly. And she looked for one person. And that was the woman who was bathing by the river. And that was where she went to put the child. The lesson from that is that once you have an idea and you want the idea to grow, it is good to look for potential markets and potential people who will make the idea grow. A lot of people will have ideas, and instead of putting it by the river bank, will leave it at home and be looking for people who will come and find it. But she took the idea to the river bank where she knew that the princess will come and have a bath. And the reason behind that is that if the princess comes to a river to have a bath, it means that it was fresh water. And if it is fresh water, it means that it continues to flow. If the water continues to flow, it means that if you put a basket inside it, as the tide keeps moving, it will take the basket away. And so what did she do? She put a monitor, she put somebody like quality control, somebody who monitors it like a supervisor in Miriam. And so if, for instance, she put the basket here, and in like 3 minutes, the tide had blown or moved the basket away, Miriam will push it back to the point where the customer can see it. I need to mention that a lot of people make the mistake of pushing something into the market without having checked the market. You know, the princess comes to the river at a particular time. And what it means is that the woman had done her homework. She did her homework, knew the time, knew the place, and knew the needs of the woman that comes to that river. For instance, if the woman had 4 children, and you go drop another one by the river, it will not entice her. So she already knew that the woman wanted a child and needed one. And so she put the child there. But look, you have to prepare whatever you have as an idea to suit the customer. So whatever product you have must suit the customer. And so she didn't just put the child, she put the child wrapped in very luxury linen that would appeal to the woman, so the woman feels like this is a child of class as well. Because there are certain things that you package. If you package it for people in Ojuelegba, they would appreciate it. But if you are packaging it for people on the island, you have to differentiate it. And now, she found the child and liked the child. And what happened next was that Miriam came out and said, do you want somebody that can help you take care of this child? Whatever ideas you have should not just die at destination. Destination is when it gets to the customer's hand. When it gets to the customer's hand, as someone who bettered that idea, you should give a follow-up mastering or follow-up after-sales service. And the after-sales service was what Miriam proposed to her. I said, do you want me to help you find an Hebrew woman that will take care of this child? A lot of you always think that once you have started an idea, there's no need to touch it up, do it up, or discard anything that is not working. I'm a testimony. When I started doing stand-up comedy, I started in the university, so anything goes. I was doing dirty jokes. And then I came to Lagos and met a man called BC Olatilo. And BC said, you are very funny, but dirty jokes don't work in corporate settings. And I said, why? He said, because that is where the money is. And I had to tailor my jokes to suit the corporate industry. And one of the lessons I learned at that time was that dirty jokes cut 50% of your market. Because amongst the directors and chairmen and all of them, captains of industry, privately, they might share dirty jokes. But while they are seated as a body corporate, they don't do dirty jokes. And they like that image to remain. And so I learned. I also decided that if I was doing business in Nigerian economy, that I needed to understand the people who were paying me. And one of that lessons was that as a comedian, there were people who were ready to pay me good money, and there were people who were not ready to even pay at all. Some people didn't even think that it was anything worth paying for. There was a man in Nigerian Security and Exchange Commission that I went to negotiate with. This was in 1992. When I got into the man's office, he said, how much will you charge to be the comedian at our event? I said, 10,000 naira. He said, when you are going, don't close the door. He didn't negotiate, he didn't even say anything. He said, when you are going, Hausa man, when you are going, don't close the door. I said, but you didn't. He said, just go, just go. And another thing that I learned at the time was that I needed to make my name user-friendly. My first names or my names are not so user-friendly. They are Akobyogobo, Akolobo Memerere, Atuyota. That's the first half. I had met at the David Awards, is something that Coca-Cola used to organize. And I went to one of the awards. After my performance, the man came to me and said, Oyibo man, I said, you're very wonderful, beautiful performance. What's your name? I said, he said, I'm sorry. I said, he said, no, I heard you the first time, I'm just sorry. And so it occurred to me that I needed to get a proper name that would... I even went for youth service, 1989. When I went for youth service, I was posted to Abuja Council for Arts and Culture. I got there and we all submitted our letters. And the people that got our letters carried us to the DG. And the DG said, who are all of you? Who are the people that are here from youth service? And he said, well, see, everything that we will pay is 70 naira. 70 naira, you take it or you leave it. So I championed the cause because it looked like I was more vocal because I was running the orientation broadcasting service. I said, sir, we can't take 70 naira. At presidency, they are paying everybody 300 naira. At Abuja Sheraton, they are paying them 150 naira and they give them accommodation. At the man said, you that is championing everybody's post, what is your name? I said, he said, your name is here? I said, yes. He looked through the call-up letters. And he said, what did you say your name is again? I said, but my friends, he said, look, give me your proper name. I said, the names, because I had started using Alibaba. So when I introduced myself to him as Alibaba, he felt like, no, Alibaba is not your name, it's a style name. So what is your proper name? So that was why I gave him I'll tell you something. You have to rejig whatever businesses that you're doing. I would ask this question and tell you a story. How many of you remember the story of Zacchaeus climbing the tree? Raise your hand if you remember the story of Zacchaeus climbing the tree. 3 things. 1, whatever business you do, please, do not feel so confident that you are the best. Do not feel so confident that you are the best. What you should actually do is always work to be the best. Don't believe I am the best. Work to be the best. Because what happened was that when Zacchaeus went to the marketplace, he met everybody that was the competition. Whatever you do in your business to get better than any other person that is in the same space with you is climbing a tree. And that is the Zacchaeus philosophy. And when you climb the tree, people see you. Even the people that are competing with you will see you. And a lot of them would even be trying to look for that kind of tree to climb. So when you climb on that tree, don't come down. If they climb on other trees, look for a taller tree. And I did that same thing when I started my business as well. I figured that people needed to know my business, they needed to know that I was serious about it, they needed to know that it was not an art form, that it was service delivery. And so, getting a tree for me was getting 3 billboards. And I got one in front of Fashola's house here. Oh, okay, it's not Fashola anymore. Well, the new man has not come. So, it's Fashola's house here. His name is Ambo now, so he has not called him. Alright, so in front of Lagos State Government House here, I got one in front of 1004, which is where Civic Center is now. And I got another one at Osborne Estate by Forshot's house. What it did for me was that it made me climb the tree so that people could see what my business was about. And I wasn't talking too much. All I wrote on those billboards was, being funny is serious business. Pager number 197. At the time, it was Disc Engineering that was connecting us. So what I'll say to all of you who are entrepreneurs, do not get limited by the market space. Do not get drowned by the challenges of the market space. Try to be creative and try to apply any kind of technology or new marketing ideas to improve your business. For anybody who's an entrepreneur here, I would say businesses might be hard and tough because everyone wants to do the same thing, but the only people who will get better are the people who do things differently. Don't forget, in this business that we're in, since everybody does the same thing, most people want to look up to you to build their competition, which is the same thing that Esau and Jacob did. Esau and Jacob did the same thing. Information is key. If the information leaks out and you get hold of the information, do something better than the next person. I'm a comedian and I try not to think of myself as the best. I think of myself as a competition and I do my best to make sure that I improve myself always. I think that one of these days, you might come across an opportunity that will help you increase your business by several folds. And what I want you to know is, remember the story of the woman and Moses? Remember the story of Zacchaeus that climbed the tree. And also remember that whatever business you do, if you do not convert the business to service, nobody will pay for it. If you are the best singer, if you are the best decorator, if you are the best motivation speaker, unless you can do it in a way that somebody will see it as a service and pay for it, you will not make money. God bless you.